The following is the Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Free Kicks. Okay, Adam, first I want to say one quick thing. I was so excited to have football, soccer back this past weekend.
Great.
It was great. But I did watch the Everton-Aston Villa game, and I believe that if I could, I don't know where you petition for getting time of your life back, but I need about at least 45 minutes of my life given back to me because that was a complete waste of time. However, this was not the Manchester Derby. Let's play. Let's play some play-by-play. Here we go.
Doku, Erling Haaland, 2. Both in the first half. Manchester City's other Derby specialist, Erling Haaland, in the second.
Yeah, and that was just the beginning. Just like this is just the beginning of Free Kicks, because it's time to begin.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
So, I enjoyed the Manchester Derby, I must admit. It was a good game. Phil Foden had a big day, and it's kind of nice seeing him come back. But that Erling Haaland, man, the run that he did on that goal that we just played the audio of, there's no defender in the league that can stop that. Yeah.
He's like a freight train. Once he gets it, he's gone.
They had two guys on him. On him. Now, the pass was perfect, too, from Doku, you got to say. But still.
Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders. But then again, they're playing a very, very, very poor Man United team. They just look completely lost. And I've seen people throwing some different things out there. If only he changes the formation.
Yeah, come on.
Figure it out. Come on, dude. Your job's on the line. If you don't change things, you will be out of a job. So you've got to make sure you do that.
I think he should try banging his head on the wall again and see if it works. I think he should just keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, and eventually it's going to work.
Yeah. I mean, his percentage is ridiculously low. I mean, he's won like 8 games out of 40 or something crazy. It's just something's got to change. I mean, I think the powers that be are just going to have to sit him down and say, look, if you don't change, you're going to be out of a job. Simple as.
And they have powers that be that are pretty powerful that you'd think they could go in and do this. On the other hand, how many contracts are they still paying of previous coaches now? You know what I mean?
That's a good point. But got to give credit to Man City. I don't know if you saw this. I actually was just reading about this. So Haaland scored 5 during the week. Did you see that? He scored 5 for Norway.
I did see that,
and they beat Moldova. So he was on good form going in. So that made things interesting. And he's back on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders again.
But as an English fan, you got to be excited about Phil Foden coming back. I mean, I don't know what happened to him last year, but he had a terrible season last season. I think there were some mental health issues, I guess, and he wasn't injured, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it could be a whole series of things, right? So maybe a little bit from a mental standpoint. He was on a high and then kind of came down. Hard to say exactly what it was, but ultimately his experience and his play shone against Manchester United, so I'm happy for him.
I am too. He hadn't scored since January.
Wow.
So that's a long stretch, especially for a national team player like him. I guess has he been on the roster lately for the English national team yet?
No, hasn't even been in the squad.
Yeah.
So
yes. So hopefully he gets his act together. But it's looking like Manchester City has got its act together. But again, as you mentioned, all they did was beat the 14th place team. So
exactly. That's
so
right.
We'll see how that goes. I got to say, the team that I'm getting a little worried about as a Liverpool supporter is Arsenal. They, listen, you think, you hear that they've got Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, and Havertz all out. And yet they don't seem to be missing a beat, because this year's team, unlike previous year's teams, is loaded. Loaded. Talk about some of these new players that they have and what they're doing right now.
Well, I think the surprising one, and I think it was interesting, I don't know if you saw his interview after the game, but Subamendi, who scored 2 goals in the game, is not really renowned for his goal-scoring prowess, but he's obviously a fantastic player and able to make and change things as needed. But that, I think, has been the difference in terms of now they can lean on players. And even Eze coming in, what a great first-time ball that he played in. Yep. To Gyökeres, who scored the goal, and then you also have Nano, who came over from Chelsea, Madueke, who I think a lot of people were a bit unsure about, but has been the starting player on the outside as well,
and looks dangerous.
Yeah, and so they've just added depth. It's as simple as that. They've just added depth to their team, and now all of a sudden they look like, when a player goes down, they can replace him. And this is also, you got to remember, Odegaard got injured in the first half, went down with a shoulder injury, but they just came back in. Players came in when Nwaneri came in. You also had Trossard came in. All of these players are now making a difference. So, yeah, I'm scared for the league, because Arsenal are legit this year. There's no question about it. They've got the depth.
They do. They're not in first yet, but they've got the depth. That's because Liverpool keeps somehow luckily winning. You get the feeling, and I've watched every one of their games this year, you get the feeling that they are they're skating on thin ice. Like at some point, they're either going to take it up a notch, because they do also have a ton of talent on that team, or they're just going to, they've pushed their luck too far. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been very lucky finding ways to score goals at the end, especially the penalty kick. I feel terrible for the Burnley player Hannibal when it hit his arm. I'm like, oh gosh, that was awful. Yeah. So, but ultimately, like you said, they're just having a hard time breaking teams down. I think teams are coming in with pretty good game plans to make it difficult for them. Give credit to the teams who are defending. Now I think Liverpool has to raise the level.
They do.
In terms of trying to break these teams down. So
you got to know if going in, you got to know they're going to be parking the bus.
Yeah, exactly. That's their week of training, right? So they're going up against a block of 8 or block of 9, whatever it may be. So they know they're going to be going up against it. They've got to figure out ways to unbalance, to get into spaces, to get into half spaces, to be able to get in behind. But I'm excited for Arsenal now challenging, pushing forward. I'm excited for what can happen over the course of this season, especially if Liverpool, don't always fire on full cylinders. But as you mentioned, they've won every game. They found a way to win.
That's true. Yeah, and they're the only team in the league that has done that. Let's talk about Chelsea. That was not a great game this past weekend. They did get a draw. Which is, that's a point. They didn't lose. But the reason I wanted to talk to you about Chelsea more is these rule breaches that just came out. This story, 74 charges.
Yeah.
That's explain what's happening.
Yeah, it actually relates to payments that were made between agents between 2009 and 2022, with most of it being focused around a couple of seasons during that time. But really what the biggest thing is because Chelsea have come in and changed hands, obviously with Todd Bowley and the Clear Lake Capital kind of coming in, they actually came in and actually self-imposed themselves as, we have these problems, we've identified these things. And so they've actually gone in and said that, we have had problems in the past, here's where they're at. we're letting you know what took place. So from that standpoint, because they've basically gone in and self-impose themselves in terms of what they're doing, that's going to lead to probably not as much of a penalization by the league.
Right.
So if you remember, a couple of years ago, Nottingham Forest were deducted a couple of points. I think it was 4 points, and then obviously Everton had the 8 points.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. There could be a point deduction, possibly. But I don't think it's as serious as what it's going to be. It could have been, because as we said, Chelsea knew about it and they told the league about it.
And this goes back to the time when Abramovich owned the team.
Correct. That's exactly it. So that was, all of these date back to when Roman Abramovich's time was the owner, and all of these were money that was given to it. I think the most notable one was Hazard. Supposedly he was potentially going to go to Arsenal, but then there was some money that was given to agents and different things, and that led to potential amounts of money going forward towards Chelsea. So again, they've identified the issues. Now it's just a question of what's gonna happen in terms of the league. What are they going to do in terms of points deductions? Is it going to be maybe a fine? Who knows? We'll find out. Hopefully, it's not a point deduction.
I just got to say, as an observer, I'm shocked that a Russian oligarch would behave in such an unethical way. But luckily, it's all taken. And I think you're right. They're throwing themselves at the mercy of the court, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about, there are two teams that are really struggling right now in terms of trying to score goals. And after 4 matches, Leeds has 1 goal. And after 4 matches, Aston Villa has 0 goals. What is going on with those two teams?
That's a great question. I think Leeds is a fairly simple answer. I think it's just they come up. Yeah, probably. They're not as good as they could be, but they've also struggled in terms of adapting. I mean, it's just a big jump up, right? So just like the other teams, it's going to take a little while, and they're just not firing on all cylinders. I think with the Aston Villa, I think the tough thing for them is the whole PSR. They've had to sell some players. I think that has led to some of the players being a little bit, momentum is a big thing. So I think something along the lines of Aston Villa are just a little down on themselves a little bit. So maybe it's not as happy as it was last year in terms of how things are going, which has led to, a struggle in front of goal.
They still have Ollie Watkins on the team.
Still got good players.
Yeah.
They've still got some good ones in there. But again, they'll come good at some point. I think they're just off to a little bit of a rougher start. I think just because of the changes that have gone on, some of the players, I think it's a little bit of confidence more so than ability is how I look at it.
Okay. Well, I like to do a weird stat of the week, and this scoreless drought has actually sparked my curiosity. And I went online to find out what the longest stretch is to start a season without scoring a goal. And it wasn't that long ago, actually. In 2017, Crystal Palace went 439 minutes without scoring, which is 6 matches. They lost 6 matches, conceded 13 goals without scoring. And then they brought in Roy Hodgson, and he fixed it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that's the longest to start a season. The longest period a Premier League team went without scoring a goal during the season was 9 consecutive games, and that was set by, can you guess? I'll tell you what season it was. 1994/95.
Wow, I have no idea. Chelsea.
Nope, it's the same team, Crystal Palace.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And that streak ran from November 19th, 1994, all the way through January 2nd, 1995. Imagine going more than a month without scoring a goal.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So
I mean, and again, it's all about the team in terms of their confidence. You know, you get into it, and I certainly, as a coach, I've been in that situation. If things aren't going well, all of a sudden things kind of change. It's there, like the situation with the first one with Crystal Palace. I think Frank de Boer was the coach, and he started the season. They played 10 games and they didn't win one. I think that was part of the problem, and he got fired after 10. So
right.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
It is. All right. Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association.
Illinois Youth Soccer has been proudly serving the Illinois soccer community since 1975. Illinois Youth Soccer is a non-profit corporation, official state association, and charter member of the U.S. Soccer Federation, administers U.S. Soccer Federation coaching programs, the Olympic Development Program, and U.S. Soccer Federation referee programs. For more information, go to illinoisyouthsoccer.org.
All right, and you're in town this week, right? I know last week.
In town, working. Yeah, last week we just completed the B license, so we had a bunch of coaches in from all over the country. C license, a little bit more Midwest led. So I'm teaching the C license this week, and excited for helping these coaches on their coaching journey as we continue to go through. But always fun. And then just as a little side note, want to congratulate one of my former players. I was lucky enough to go down and be part of the presentation. He was inducted into the Eastern Illinois University Hall of Fame. Brad Peters, one of my former players. So got down there and presented him. So it was nice to see some old faces back there. So congrats to Brad on being elected into the Hall of Fame.
I love it.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
Okay, so this one I think is not that difficult, but who knows? We'll see what you think. This week's Premier League star is 25 years old. All right, so these days that's pretty much in the median, wouldn't you say, among Premier League players. He's born in London, but he was rejected by the academies at Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Tottenham. They rejected him. Instead, he came up with Bristol City and their academy. Where's Bristol City, by the way?
Bristol is kind of in the west. It's kind of West Country-ish. So, yeah.
So not in London area.
Yeah, not too far. Okay. Not super far, yeah.
Well, so also his current Premier League squad that he's on is not based in London. All right, so it's not a London team.
Oh, okay.
So that eliminates a bunch of them. So far this year, he's actually one of the best players in the league. He's among the leaders in goals and assists. And I just checked the rankings, the General Soccer Metrics rankings. He's ranked number 1 in the league right now, the top player in the league.
Wow!
After four matches. He plays for the national team of Ghana. Because his father's from there. His mother is French. And so he has a French first name. Mm-hmm.
It got me thinking, and I can see him, but I'm trying to remember him.
He wears number 24.
Okay.
He also wears red and black stripes.
All right. Yes. So he's playing for, I would say, Bournemouth. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say.
Okay. And he's doing very, very well, being a big player for them this year. Would it be Semenyo?
It is Semenyo, Antoine Semenyo.
Yes.
And he really has had a great start, and I think he's really the reason why Bournemouth is where they are right now. They're in the... Are they in the top 4? They're very, very much near the top of the table.
Yeah, they're in full spot.
Yeah.
They're currently in a Champions League spot, which is amazing. Yes.
Yeah. I like that coach. Game. I like that coach of Bournemouth.
Yeah, he's doing a super job.
Manager, rather. I keep calling him coach.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are. That's what they are. Yeah. They're coaches, managers, absolutely. But, yeah, I think... One thing that I think I like about Bournemouth is even though they lost some players last year, they kind of were able to replace them, and they do such a super job of finding new players that can kind of come in. Like a player like Semenyo was a very good player for them last year, but he's just kind of took it upon himself to be the star player. And they reinvent themselves, which is great, especially when you think about who they are. 11,000 people can only go watch them on a regular basis. It's an amazing setup, and they are punching way above their weight on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and they have one of my favorite American players as well.
Yeah, Tyler Adams, really good player. Yeah, very good.
He's actually an important player on the team, too. He's not just, one of the American guys who gets in like 5 minutes a game. He's a key player on that Bournemouth squad.
Key player for the US, key player for Bournemouth, holding center midfielder, can also play as an 8 possibly, but yeah, rock solid player. Yes. I think most Premier League teams would like to have him.
I think you're right.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
Okay, got my pencil out, looking the end of it, got my paper ready to write what I'm going to be watching.
And this was really tough. I mean, I'm going to have to give you 3 games to watch because there's just too many good games.
He said I had to watch 3 this week.
This first one, I'm going to check on you to see if you get up, but you've got to watch it. It's a derby, Liverpool-Everton, 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. So I think that's going to be a great one. And this might be the game. I hate to say this because of the rivalry. Maybe Everton may just get over Liverpool. You never know.
Yeah.
I know it is at Anfield, but I think you can throw reputation, throw scores, throw table positions out of the window when those two play.
Agreed.
So that's going to be a good one. My second one, a little bit later for you, but I think this could go, and again, could determine whether or not he sticks around or not. Man United versus Chelsea at Old Trafford. Man United don't like to get beaten by Chelsea. But if Chelsea comes in, I think this may be the start of the demise if things don't go well for Man United and their manager. Just saying, because if he doesn't change things around, big trouble. Okay. So that's your Saturday. And then Sunday, what a great game. Arsenal-Man City. What a perfect game. Some really good ones this week at Highbury. I think you're going to enjoy it. Man City back in form. Arsenal's in good form. You got all the top teams covered. There you go.
I can't wait. That's very exciting. All right. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club. I got a couple of notes about Green White. One is one of our longtime members, Kurt Melcher, was nominated, and it is going to be in the 2025 class of the Illinois Soccer Hall of Fame.
Great.
So congratulations to Kurt. He played with us ever since he was a little kid. His father was one of the founders of Green White and also my uncle. So congratulations, Kurt, who is my cousin. On the other side of the ledger, we had got some sad news this morning from at Green White. One of our players passed away. 16-year-old kid. We're just getting the information as we start to tape, but boy, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and to his team. It's in the Daily Herald today. If you want to check it out, today is Tuesday as we're recording this. But our thoughts and prayers out to the family. I'm not going to say their name right now because their name is not out there yet, but you'll be able to read about it later. And we just feel terrible for them. All right, we have people we need to thank here on this show. We need to thank our executive producer, Tony Lasano with Opie Shows. Thanks, Tony, for everything. Also, thanks to Ed Sillo, the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. Just moved to a better place, radiomisfits.com. And are we going to be back next week?
Certainly will.
All right, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Free Kicks.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at radiomisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
I'm shocked that a Russian oligarch would behave in such an unethical way.